If you put things off and have a hard time following up, you probably think of yourself as lazy, and other people probably think of you as lazy. And everyone is just under the impression that you just need to use more willpower and work a lot harder. Well, I'm here to tell you that this characterization of procrastination is very oversimplified, and I guarantee it won't lead to much success in moving past it. And if you've tried some tips that you've learned, like, start your day with the hardest task, and it hasn't worked well for you, again, you may be down on yourself or think that you can't be helped because of it. If that describes you, then watch this video to the end so that you can hear it's absolutely not the case. Your procrastination is not just about laziness, and if you think it is, no wonder you haven't been able to stop it. I want you to know more about this issue so that you can finally get to the right solution that will allow you to stop feeling guilty about putting it off and start getting pumped about how much you're accomplishing. Now let me start by busting a myth, okay? All procrastinators are not alike. From coaching business people one-on-one and having hundreds of people go through my programs, I've put together a list of the 7 types of procrastinators. Let's review them to see which one or ones you identify with so that you can try to keep it in mind as we get into the causes and solutions. Perfectionist. Are you the kind of person who says, it has to be perfect before I send anything out? You would know you're this type if you are demanding of yourself and others. If you pay a lot of attention to details, you actively redo your work or make others redo it over and over again. You exert control and spend a lot of time thinking about how the project is coming along or will turn out. You have a hard time getting started because for you, it's already not perfect even before you start. Are you a dreamer? If so, you're the kind of person who's helpful and great to be around because you're a big picture thinker. You have a picture in your mind that you might be excited about, but you can't translate it into actions because you don't know how to break it down into chunks so that you can get started. You are idealistic, but not an implementer. You have your head in the clouds. You are long on talk and short on action. Are you an avoider? You see tasks as unpleasant. You see whatever task you have to do as too big, too much effort, too much hassle, so you put it off. Your motto is, I don't feel like it, or I don't want to deal with this. You rationalize to yourself that it will be easier to do later today or the proverbial tomorrow. You are seeking relief from having to face anything unpleasant. Are you a protector? If you're a protector, your procrastination is a confidence issue. You put off because you are worried about what other people will think. If you put your work out for comment, people whose opinion matters to you might criticize you. So you think to yourself, if they might give me feedback that I'm stupid, then I have a solution. I'll delay, and I just won't put my work out there. Then they won't have an opportunity to shoot me down. Your confidence is shaky, and you're all about doing whatever it takes to make sure that you don't lose it. Are you a pressure seeker? You've been telling yourself for a long time that you work best under pressure. You remember with fondness those all-nighters you used to pull when you were younger, and you think that you do your best work when the deadline is looming and you have to devote your full attention. You're not able to create a sense of urgency without that upcoming deadline looming. Are you a prioritizer? You may be one of the only types where your procrastination is done more on purpose, shall we say. You're probably overwhelmed with too much to do, and you or your boss has deemed certain tasks as more important. So you are deliberately putting off certain work. However, there may be people who are relying on you to get projects or paperwork done, and certainly from their vantage point, you're a procrastinator. But also, you may be choosing to accomplish some things at the expense of certain other things, like your own health routines or checkups or kind of new initiatives that you could take. Are you, do you have ADD, or is disorganization more your issue? If so, then you have a brain wiring issue that makes it hard to focus. You're easily distracted, easily frustrated when you try to get yourself to work on something. You may be legitimately not so good at estimating time. If you literally look at brain scans of people who have ADD, when they're trying to concentrate, the part of the brain used for concentration turns off. Isn't that interesting? So it's harder to concentrate. So what you need really are some strategies that are made just for the brains of people with your special gifts and challenges. If you have tried to stop your procrastination before, what you might have tried is to follow some of the conventional wisdom out there. Advice like, start with the hardest task first thing in the morning. Now, I think that's a terrific idea, and if it works for you, go for it. But let me show you how that strategy could have totally failed you if you didn't know your procrastination type. For example, if you're a perfectionist, you can see that advice won't help you one bit. I mean, you're already up at the crack of dawn, cranking out revisions of your work, making sure that everyone you work with isn't making any mistakes. What you need is more the ability to find a water level of good enough so that you can get things out the door and not waste too much time on the way. Same idea if you're a dreamer. You're very motivated, and you know you should get started with the hardest part first, but your problem is that you don't know what that first step is, right? What you really want to learn is how to take that big picture you have in your mind, break it down into chunks. Like, what are the steps, and how many are there, and what comes first, and what comes next? And very important, how to communicate to people who enroll in your vision, like, that can help to make your dream happen. Now, for sure, if you're a protector, your problem isn't necessarily the case that you need willpower to get started, right? What you need is confidence and a strong belief in the value you bring. You need to have a strong enough opinion in yourself that you can withstand any negative feedback or rejection that you might get from people who review your work. Only then will you be willing to put your work out to others. The idea is the same if you have ADD or you're intentionally choosing to procrastinate by prioritizing other things. See, this common advice is really only relevant if you're an avoider or a pressure seeker. Then, of course, one of the things you could use some more of is willpower to get started. But it doesn't necessarily help you to know that you should do the hardest thing first in the morning, because what you know about yourself is that you might not feel like it. You don't seem to naturally have the willpower. So then you're just setting yourself up to feel bad because you won't be able to do what you set out to. So the solution for you is to not wait around for the moment when you feel like it to come. Rather, to have simple strategies that give you motivation within seconds. Then you can have a steady supply of motivation no matter what time of day it is. Can you understand now why you might not have been able to lick that procrastination habit ever before? I hope this video was helpful in getting you to stop getting down on yourself and thinking that you're lazy, and instead start to be curious about your procrastination type and the real reasons you procrastinate. And if you know that you need practical strategies that are guaranteed to work for your type of procrastination, go now to www.productivitymindsetmastery and get 29 of these strategies to start reaching your true productivity potential today.